wondering how everybody's doing. Anubis channeled this morning and it was rocking. I mean, it was like early morning, and I was thinking, oh boy, I always wonder who sets the schedule, because I do those 7:30 a.m. lives at 7:30 a.m. and it's like, oh, what am I thinking? But it sure was fun. That's one of the things I like about channeling, as it feels really, really good. And I hope you feel really, really good. I'm looking forward to talking with you today and to assisting you in whatever way is right for you today. I think Anubis is really challenging us to be who we are, to really let it rip, not wait, not wait for something or someone or some way to make us perfect. We are perfect, and we're perfect even in some of our less than desirable ways. Good morning, Darla. How are you? Yay! Thank you for being here. I'm wondering if you have a question for me, dear. I'd love to see that. I'd like to see your questions. How are things going? Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards from this deck. Oopsie. Reconnecting Soul, 142 DNA activation cards. And I like to pull one that is what led up to this, and where are we now, and where are we going. And the way these cards work is they have a symbol on one side and they have words on the other. And where are we now card says wholeness, our divine nature that was forgotten long ago. This glyph and its attribute realign you with the truth. That really is in keeping with what Anubis was channeling about this morning at the 7:30 on my personal page. Wholeness, our divine nature that was forgotten long ago. This glyph and its attribute realign you with the truth. And one of the things that they've taught me over the years of using these cards, I'm gonna sneeze, hang on a second, maybe not, but to take this symbol and bring it into your body and let it sort of float around in your body and go where it needs to go and settle into your body wherever it needs to be, just as if this symbol is touching all parts of your being and strengthening any place that it needs to be to realign you with the truth of your being. So that is what led up to this day. Oh my goodness, that wasn't so good. All right. Yeah. All right. Now, the second card that I pulled, and this stands for Where are we now? Where are we now? Is this symbol. And now let this symbol float around in your body, in your brain, in your neck, in your jaw, in your heart, in your shoulders, in your arms, in your elbows, your hands, your intestines. Let it float around in your body wherever it needs to go. I hadn't even read the other side. Okay, the side with the words says embodiment. You are the embodiment of a unique aspect of Source. You are one with the I Am. This activation enables you to be the power that is your divine birthright. Okay, so this symbol represents a missing strand of DNA that you are adding as you move this symbol throughout your body, whether it's in your brain or your spine or your intestines, wherever it needs to go, it goes. And I think this is wonderful for you, Darla, that I think this is a highly, highly healing symbol for you. I'm going to read the text again on the other side of this card. Embodiment. You are the embodiment of a unique aspect of Source, also known as the divine. You are one with the I Am. This activation enables you to be the power that is your divine birthright. Be the power that is your divine birthright. And by the I Am, what is meant here is, when I say I am literally evoking my relationship with the divine, my connection with the divine, my understanding that I am a piece of the divine. And this also ties right into the channeling that Anubis did this morning on your permanent atom of light and igniting all of the chakras and having them power you up for the day, as well as align you with the divine's will for you, and align your self-will with divine will. I want to make sure I'm getting all the questions that might be posted here today. I think it's a quiet day. We must have people who are doing other things at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, depending on what time zone you're in. All right, the third card. The third card is this symbol. And so allow it to move about your body. Allow it to affect your physical body. Allow it to affect your energy system. For these represent missing strands of DNA. The theory here is that the original design of the human body had 144 DNA strands, not just 2. And so we can reacquire the missing 142 by using these cards and these symbols and the messages on the back. So the message on the back of this one is timeless. Timeless. You are now connected to the truth that time has always been just an illusion. You now exist completely in the present. this again ties in so well with the 7:30 channeling, which is on my personal page, and is the energy of today, and is what's going on today. So you can reacquire this timeless aspect. So time for me sometimes is a shackle, is a weight, is difficult to work within. And when we understand timelessness, it doesn't matter whether we are on time. What matters is that we show up in the present moment and be who we are in the present moment. Utilize the strength of our soul, the light within each of our chakras, and within that permanent atom of light that's in me and in you always. And that is the exact way that the divine created each of us, as a spark of her light, as a point of consciousness, with programming and formatting, with certain characteristics and strengths and weaknesses and challenges. And it's all about how can I love myself with deep compassion today. Right? It's all about how can I love myself with deep compassion today. Timeless. You are now connected to the truth that time has always been an illusion. You now exist completely in the present. There's no other point of power in a world that utilizes time and physical manifestation than the present moment. There is no other point of power than the present moment. So we have to be in the present moment. We have to be here if we want to be ourselves. If we want to be the powerful embodiment of the divine. And we have wholeness led up to this. Where we are now is embodiment. And where this is leading to is timelessness. This is quite an amazing stack of cards. This is quite an amazing set of DNA strands that we are reacquiring at this moment. This is quite empowering, don't you think? I'm enjoying this. All right. I'm wondering how each of you are doing with this day, with this moment, and with each of these concepts. All right, I'm just going to get the flyer. I've scheduled another Body and Soul Akashic Healing webinar for June 28th. And I'm going to put up a video I did yesterday that describes why I created this class. I always wanted to see if there was some kind of theme or thread or common purpose in all of the diseases and ailments and injuries that I had suffered over the years, and like there must be some higher purpose to all of that. And so I tried to look at it through the lens of Louise Hay's book Heal Your Body, and it was kind of early on, and I didn't have the Akashic records at my disposal, and I was still quite sick with MS at that time. And then later, when I got into the Akashic records, I started working in my Akashic records, I discovered this way of learning what was the spiritual implication in each illness, injury, mishap, upset, physical, stressful thing that went on in my life. And I documented 43 different illnesses at the time. I think I've had a couple more since then. I mean, shingles counts, right? Anyway, and I created this way of opening the records and looking at certain experiences and seeing them from a soul's perspective, from the perspective of the masters, teachers, and loved ones within the Akashic records, and from your higher understanding that is available in the Akashic records, what the spiritual nudge was, what the spiritual implication, what the steering mechanism that the soul was using, some physical manifestation to move me in a certain direction, to point me in a certain way, to channel my energy and my focus in a certain way. And it was amazing. I went from the first thing I could remember when I was very young, like being maybe 3 years old, having a terrible earache, and hop forward to 5th grade. I had a lot of bronchitis in 5th grade. Some reason I was sick with bronchitis a lot in 5th grade. What was the spiritual nudge in that? And the Akashic records, working in the records, has taught me to ask, how was this good for me? Not like being ill as a punishment, not looking at it from that perspective like a challenge to my physical integrity, or it's something I have to overcome, or an obstacle, or a sentence, or a critique of how I run my life. So in 5th grade, it turns out having bronchitis a lot got me out of school. That was the payoff. I didn't have to go to school, and I was in a kind of a challenging class. I was in an experimental class as a 5th grader mixed with 6th graders, and we had a visiting professor from Vancouver, Canada, and 5 student teachers from UC Berkeley who were aiding us in this class. So it was a very busy and intense class, and there was a lot of learning going on, and I was being challenged by that teacher, that professor, to do higher level work, to put a little more oomph into it, to function at a more elegant level and a more optimum level. And nobody had ever pushed me in school before like that. Nobody had ever said, you can do better than this. And I was aghast. I was floored. Good morning, Stephanie. And so I got sick a lot because it was a way that I could just be on the couch. My mom would let me watch more TV. When I was sick, I could watch the 2 o'clock movie on Channel 2 that was often these women dressed up in 40s attire with satin and jewels and elegant mannerisms, and but some of them were really bad. They were the bad guy, and I got to escape having to perform, to having to be cute, to having to live up to it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to return to that because Darla put up a great question. Okay. I'm finding I'm totally stuck to motivate myself to get control of my emotions, to organize myself and my house, to put it on the market. I don't know what to do. Suggestions? Thoughts? Absolutely. Absolutely. Darla, sweet, hardworking, highly functional Darla, you are still recovering from many years of being on tap, of taking care of Sam. You are still restocking your battery, your fuel tanks, refueling. You are recovering from serious health issues, and you're expecting yourself to function as if none of these things happened or took a toll on you. It is time for you to be kind to yourself. It is time for you to allow yourself, you would probably call it vegging out, to being a couch potato, to just doing the minimum. And I would include physical therapy as part of that minimum. As I understand it, you've had to treat a recurrence of breast cancer. You've had to have 2 knee surgeries in order to get this knee right. Your husband of how many years died, and you are left with this big property and this big house and a lot of complications, a lot of details. So this is when you call the kids in for help. You ask them to help you go through one thing at a time, if you are ready. If you are not ready to let all of Sam's clothing go, or his tools, and I'm sure that he had a lot of tools, because he was a fine furniture build maker and woodworker, as well as being a veterinarian. If you're not ready, it's all right. Give yourself a little more space. So we are in the middle of May, and we think that you will feel a lot more like yourself by the middle of June, the middle of July. That will be plenty of time to get the house on the market. You need this time to sow and heal, to create new cells, to stitch up the incisions, to rebuild the damaged tissues that treatment, especially from cancer, causes. This is a serious diminisher of life force energy, and the expectation that you should be better by now and probably not affected by grief as much as you possibly are is unreasonable and obviously not accurate. So let's adjust your expectations and bring them back into the present moment. Bring them back into the present moment. And be in harmony with your body and your body's pace. And its ability to do what needs to be done where it is right now. It is busy healing. This is a serious function that it takes lots of energy, peace and quiet. It needs you not to stress over these things. You are not going to miss the boat. Divine timing has its own place in life. Now, when you work with this card, whether you get the house up for sale, this card being the timeless card. Sorry, it's backwards on Facebook. That happens. When you work with timelessness and you understand that you are working on divine timing rather than human timing, because the human self is saying, it needs to get done now, I'm behind schedule, I should be, push, you know, haranguing yourself. Look, give yourself a break, Darla. Heal, give yourself the way, the permission, any kind of permission. I give you full permission to be in the space of healing, no matter how much time it takes. And divine timing will lead you through this in her wisdom. And when it's time to put the house on the market, it will happen. And not 1 nanosecond before the divine has approved the timing. As it is my understanding that you believe in Jesus, then you are calling in Jesus to work on the body parts that have been so heavily assaulted. Through surgery and chemo and radiation. And you are in great shape despite these things. Let the Christ in. Let Jesus the Christ, the bringer of light, into these parts of your body, into even other parts of your body that are asking for healing. Perhaps it is even into the mindset that you have. The Christ always loves you as you are. The Christ does not judge you, and so you should stop judging yourself. Let yourself out of the judgment jail. And that always looks to us like you're in a bird cage with pointed bars coming together in a point at the top. And they unfold. And as they unfold, you are allowed to step out of the judgment jail into the perfect moment. The perfection of who you are, where you are, how you are at this moment. And the other piece of this is that grief has its own timing. You cannot push grief. You cannot force it to behave. You cannot say, not today. When it comes, and it requires you to have the experience you're having, the grieving, and the looking for where to place your love. Well, right now, where to place your love is upon yourself. See yourself as someone who needs love, grace, compassion, kindness. It's all the things you would show Sam or someone else if they were going through the similar things that you are going through. Show yourself that love, kindness, compassion. You have worked so hard for many years, and this has put you in a little bit of a fragile state, which is requiring you to be more compassionate with yourself, to comfort yourself, to be kind and patient with yourself. Put all your cares, all your woes in the lap of the divine. Give them to the Christ. Let Jesus take them. Jesus knows how to handle this mess. You don't. It's all right. You don't have to right now. You're off duty. You are in recovery. You are in a healing bubble. You are constantly feeling the healing, and you're constantly aware of yourself. And if you keep pushing yourself to be some different way, you're only putting yourself in conflict with yourself, which puts you behind the zero mark. If you can get up from the negative into the zero mark, you can start to go up from there. So just call this, state it, declare it. You are in healing mode, and you are receiving healing, and you are granted permission to do whatever is necessary to heal. And that might be an enormous amount of quiet time, an enormous amount of napping, reading, watching television, laying down, maybe doing physical therapy. That is attending to the business at hand that you are up to right now. That is responsible. You are ably responding to the truth of your physical being as it is right now. And it is necessary. It is necessary. Do not push yourself. You will only push yourself down. Just say, of course I'm tired. Of course I can't get my mind focused on it. I'm in grief. Of course I feel underpowered because I've had surgery and breast cancer, and I depleted myself from years of caregiving, and now I am regrouping, re-enabling myself by allowing the healing that is taking place right now. Of course I feel tired. Of course I feel unable to address things. Of course I want to run away from the to-do list. This all will happen over time. And it's all right to ask people for help. It's all right to ask Sam's kids to come and participate. It's all right to hire help, even if you need a housekeeper. Hire one. Free yourself of that chore. It's not the time for you to be doing all of that. So clearly not. And when you allow yourself to be as you are, you'll find that at some moment in time, you'll be ready. Perhaps one day you'll go through and put some things in boxes and get them ready to go to Goodwill. Or maybe one day you'll just go get some boxes. And that will be enough for that day. One day you will go, I can do this one small thing. I can go through this drawer and put that in a go-away box, whether it's going to Goodwill or a charity of your choice. It's all right. Give yourself permission. Write yourself a permission slip. I give myself permission to take as much time to heal as I need. And I trust that the divine is taking care of everything else while I am unable to. I trust divine timing. That's your permission slip. You're only stuck because you haven't agreed to this, and you need to agree to being in the healing state. And you think you can control it or speed it up, and you can. You can speed it up by laying around and being in the healing space. When I was really sick with MS, I watched enormous amounts of television. It was horrible. I knew that it wasn't great energy, but I needed to shut my mind up so it wouldn't push me and drive me and say, you're a bad person for not doing more. Get up, you should be, you should be, you should be. I had to shut that up, and TV at least allowed me to let time pass. And it took 10 years of letting time pass so that I could come to a state of healing. Now, I don't think it's going to take 10 years for you. But do you understand? I had to give myself permission, hour by hour, day by day, moment by moment, to be in the state I was in. And sometimes I could walk the dog, and sometimes I couldn't. And that had to be approvable. I had to allow that to be the state of being that I was in. I had to say yes. I had to agree to it, because the body was in that condition and needed that. And I recovered from MS. I no longer have it. All right. I think that's about it for today. I am going to post a video I did yesterday about the Body and Soul Akashic Healing webinar. And if you'd like to explore this thing of healing and timing and the higher purpose of illnesses and injuries and all of that, then please join me on June 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Zoom. And I will teach you this process that allows you to utilize your own soul's Akashic records and the kindness and compassion of your masters, teachers, and loved ones, and your soul. And what was the healing purpose of illnesses and injuries and upsets and all of these physical things we go through in this life? This is a very reasonably priced webinar. It's only $154 if you pay by June 14th. So you've got a little bit of time, but secure your spot. And then I will know to put you on the list and send you the preparatory materials. It's also a good idea to read Chapter 2 of Bringing Forth Soul Consciousness, because in Chapter 2, that is when I teach you how to read your Akashic records. And that basic information will help you by leaps and bounds. That's a very good thing to read or to listen to if you have it on the audiobook. And Darla, if you I think you would like the audiobook. It is very soothing. You'll be taking in good information and energy while you are healing, and it will occupy your brain in a healing way that allows you to be in the state you need to be in so that you can recover fully with the least amount of stress and strain on yourself. Chapter 2, I highly recommend it. It's opens the gateway to so many wonderful spiritual avenues and strengths and perspectives about who we are as humans in a body and as souls in a human body, and our relationship with the divine. Oh yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I love you all. Have a good day.